Hi guys, this is Sadiq from Dragon.com, and in this video, we'll show you how to root your Galaxy A52s 5G using kernel SU thanks to the Ascendia kernel. So please take a backup of all the data on your phone and then let's get started. These are the various features of the kernel of the Ascendia kernel as you could see from here. Likewise, these are the supported phones. If your phone is in the list, then let's get started. First and foremost, you will have to get hold of the latest Android SDK platform tools. So get it from my guide and extract them onto your PC. You may extract them anywhere you want. In my case, I've done so in C drive, and these are the files for platform tools. Once you have done the extraction, you will now have to enable USB debugging and OEM unlocking as well and unlock the bootloader. So do know that unlocking will wipe off all the data and it will strip the Knox as well. Once the Knox gets stripped, you will no longer be able to use various Samsung secure features, and there's no way of rectifying the issue with Knox. That is, there is no going back. Once the Knox gets stripped, it will remain stripped forever. So keep this point in mind, and if that's all well and good, then let's get started with the process of unlocking the bootloader. First off, you will have to enable USB debugging and OEM unlocking. So let's get that job done. Go to the settings menu, then go to about phone, software information, tap on build number 7 times. This will enable developer options. Once that happens, go back, again go back. Now go to the developer options from here and enable the toggle next to OEM unlocking as well as USB debugging. You will get a prompt, tap on OK. You might get one more prompt, so again tap on allow, and with this, the debugging is now enabled. Once that is done, you will now have to boot the phone to the download mode and then long press the volume up key to enter the device unlock mode. After that once again press the volume up key to unlock the bootloader. Once that is done, your phone will boot to the OS. So connect your phone to the Wi-Fi and then make sure that the OEM unlocking is enabled and gray out. This signifies that you have bypassed the vault keeper. Once you have done so, you could now move ahead with the next step. So now you have to install the RP recovery onto your phone. So for that, you will have to get hold of the recovery tar file as well as the vbmetapatch.tar file. So just give me a second. I have both the files over here. So once you have got hold of both the files, the recovery file you could download from the official site or from the XDA as well. Likewise, the vbmetapatch file could also be got hold from the XDA website. So once you have got hold of both the files, let's move ahead and flash the files onto our phone. So for flashing the recovery file, you will have to, so let me show you just a moment. We have already done with the first step. The second step is also done. You could download the recovery file from here, and the vbmetapatch file link is given here for the A52s for our phone. So get hold of both the files and now download the Odin tool from here and extract them onto your PC. Upon extraction, you will get the following 4 files. Let me show you. These are the 4 files. Once you have got the Odin, you will now have to boot the phone to the download mode to flash these files. So open the CMD window inside the platform tools directory from here and now type in adb reboot download, and your phone should now reboot into the download mode. Once that happens, we could then launch the Odin tool and flash the files as well. So once your phone is inside the download mode, you will have to launch the Odin tool via the exe file as I have shown you here. This is the file. Launch the Odin tool, click on OK. Now make sure that your phone is being shown under the COM section as well as over here added. If that's all well and good, go to the option tab and uncheck auto reboot. Now click on AP and load the TWRP file, the tar file, which should be somewhat, this is the file. Likewise, also load the vbmetapatch file over here. So this is the patch file. So in the AP slot, you have to load the TWRP, and in the user data slot, you have to load the patch vbmeta file. Once that is done, and you have also checkmark the auto reboot, click on start. The recovery file will now be flashed onto your phone. It will take just a few seconds. Once the file has been flashed, you will have to press and hold the power and the volume down keys for around 7 to 8 seconds. And as soon as the phone is about to undergo a restart, then you have to press and hold the power and the volume up keys. So let me show you how that could be done. So first off, press and hold the power and the volume down keys until your phone is about to undergo a restart. So keep holding both the keys, and then you have to let go of both the keys and press and hold the power and the volume up keys. Now press and hold the power and the volume up keys and keep on holding both the keys until your phone is about to boot to the OS. Once you boot to the OS, you may then let go of this key as well, and your phone should now reboot to the TWRP recovery. So let's keep on holding both the keys, and within 3 to 4 seconds, you will now release the keys as well. And if you have done everything right, then your phone should now boot to the TWRP recovery. But if you haven't pressed the keys at the right time, then your phone will boot to the OS or the soft recovery. In both the cases, you will have to reflash the recovery via the Odin tool once again. So let's verify what happens in our case, and after that we will use the recovery. As you could see, the recovery has been flashed, so we have flashed the recovery successfully, and we are now going to go ahead with the next step. Now before moving ahead, you will first have to remove the encryption from the phone. So go to wipe, format data, type in yes, hit the blue check mark. The format data is now complete, and now you have to do a reboot to the recovery. This is extremely important. To remount the data partition of your phone, you have to remove the encryption and then do a reboot to the recovery. And this recovery reboot might take up to around 10 to 15 seconds, which is normal. So let's just wait for that to happen. Anyways, we have now flashed the recovery, and we can now close this guide as well. And let's move ahead with the next step. Now you have to get hold of the Ascendia kernel with kernel SU from this link. If you are on the stock One UI or the GSI ROM, download the first one. But if you are on the AOSP ROM such as Lineage OS or Droid Evolution X, then download the second one. As of now, I was in the stock One UI, so I will be using the first one. So once you have got the file, transfer the file inside the platform tools directory. So the file should be somewhat here. This is the file transferred inside the platform tools. Likewise, you will also need the kernel SU. Download that as well and transfer both the files inside the platform tools directory. Once you transfer the Ascendia kernel over here, let's move ahead with the next step. And now you have to transfer the file onto your phone. So in my case, the phone is shown here, but I cannot access the storage. If that is the case with you as well, then it's not a cause of concern. Just you have to use the adb push command to do the file transfer. First off, let's rename the file to something shorter. So let's rename it to KSU, and now transfer the file. So type in adb push file name, which is KSU. Just verify the characters, so everything is in caps. So ksu.zip space /SD card, and the file will now be transferred onto your phone and will take just a few seconds. So the file is now transferred. Let's verify the same. As you could see, we now have the file, and now before flashing the file, you will have to take a backup of the following partition: the boot, DTBO, vendor boot, and the vendor image. So let's do that. Go to backup, boot, DTBO, vendor boot, and vendor image. I don't want the data. Anyways, we have done a formatted data, so it's 0 MB. So you could skip this easily. So once you have check mark all these 4 partitions, swipe to backup, and the backup has started, and it will be somewhat shorter because it's only around 1.7 GB. So the time will not be quite long, and as you could see, the backup is now complete, and it's now made in just 12 seconds. And now we could flash the zip file, the KSU zip file. So choose it, swipe to flash. The flashing will now start and will take up to around 5 to 10 seconds at the very max. So let's wait for that to happen. And once the flashing is complete, you will have to boot to the OS and then flash the kernel SU and install the app as well. So download the app from its GitHub page, and once you have got the app, you will have to transfer the app onto your phone as well. This is the app which I am talking about. As you can see, the flashing has been done. Now tap on reboot system, and the phone will boot to the OS. After that, you have to install the kernel SU app. So download the app from the official GitHub link over here, as you could see, and transfer the app onto your phone. So let's wait for a few seconds, and then we will get the job done as well. The first boot up after flashing the kernel SU might take up some time. That is completely normal and nothing to worry about. So let's wait for the phone to boot up. Okay, one more thing, since we have done the format data, the boot up will be longer, around 4 to 5 minutes also. So let's wait for that to complete. So guys, the phone has booted to the OS. Let's get started with the setup process. I agree to the terms and condition, and I will skip the rest of the stuffs just to speed up the process. I will not take a backup right now. Let's skip this as well. Next, and accept all the terms and conditions. Skip this as well. Agree. Next. Just a few more seconds is required, and then we'll be to the OS. So let's uncheck this, tap on next, finish, and we are now inside the OS. And you could now install the kernel SU app. So download the app from the GitHub page and transfer the APK onto your phone, or you may download the app from your phone itself. For now, I will have to transfer the APK file onto my phone. So let's get that job done as well. This is the APK file, and transfer the APK inside my phone. And once that is done, let's now install the app as well. This is the APK file. Settings, enable the toggle, install. And once the app has been installed, just launch the app, tap on open, and as you could see, it's now up and running as well. So let's verify. You could see the working tab over here. Let's verify it using app. So For the sake of reference, let me use a couple of apps that requires this. So Termux is one such app, and let me first transfer the Termux app. Likewise, okay, so one of the easiest approach will be to use a root checker app as well. So let me use the root checker app, which is over here, and transfer the APK onto my phone as well. And now let's install both these app and verify the result as well. My files, first off, let's use the Termux app and install it. App is done. Likewise, this is the root checker app. Okay, one more thing, just always keep in mind that as opposed to the Magisk, you will not get a SU request in the app. You will have to manually give it the root access from the kernel SU app only. So for instance, let me show you. If you type on agree get started, this is just for the sake of reference. If you now type on verify root, it's showing as root access is not installed. This is because we haven't given in the root access. In case of Magisk, you would have got a Magisk prompt over here, but in kernel SU you will never get a prompt. Instead, you will have to launch the kernel SU app, and from there go to the super user tab, refresh it once, and you will not get the apps from here. So you will have to manually enable the super user tab from here. Likewise, do the same with the Termux app as well. Always keep this point in mind. You will never get the super user request inside the app. You will have to launch the kernel SU and then give it the request from there. And now if I launch the root checker app, let me show you that verify root. You could see the task stands complete. It's now rooted. Likewise, let's launch the Termux app and allow. And since I've given it the super user request from the kernel SU app, if I now type in SU, just give me a second. If I now type in SU, hit enter, you could see we are now inside the data directory of the home directory, which is only possible via root. So you will never get any prompt inside the app. You will always have to go to the kernel SU app, go to the super user tab, and from there you will have to give them the access of the root. Likewise, the same is with the shell as well. The shell is the SU prompt which you type in the CMD window. Now if you type in the SU, you could see it will now work, as you could see. Okay, first type in ADB shell. Just give, okay, one more thing, I have to enable USB debugging once again. Just give me a second, I will show you that as well. So go to the developer options and now enable USB debugging. Okay, and now let me show you. By default this was turned off. The kernel SU for the ADB shell was turned off. So if you would have used the command ADB shell onto your phone, just give me a second, USB debugging. Okay, always allow. So by default, if you use the SU command, you will not get, you could see it's showing as inaccessible or not found, because by default you will not get any Magisk request. So you will have to go to the kernel SU, enable the toggle next to shell, and now if you type in the SU command, let me show you once again, you could see we are now inside the root directory. By the hash sign it signifies it's now inside the root directory, and you could now get the job done. So always keep this point in mind that you will have to manually give the root access to for all the apps from the kernel SU only. And as you could see, super users are now 3. Okay, now guys, let me show you how to flash a module using kernel SU. So regarding the flashing of modules, let's take an example. Okay, one more important thing, by default Zygisk is not there in kernel SU. In case of Magisk, you have an inbuilt Zygisk, but that is not the case with kernel SU. So if you want Zygisk, because the modules such as PlainText or LSPOS framework, all of them requires Zygisk, but since the kernel SU does not have Zygisk, these apps will not work onto your phone. So first you will have to flash the Zygisk next module as well onto your phone, and only then the Zygisk will work. So for the sake of reference, let's use the Zygisk next module and I will show you how this works. So this is very important thing. Please always keep this point in mind that your phone, the kernel SU does not have an built-in Zygisk as opposed to the Magisk. So you will have to flash the Zygisk next module to enable Zygisk, to transfer the zip file onto your phone, and to flash any module, go to the menu section, module section, tap on install, choose the module zip file, which in our case is Zygisk next, and it will now be flashed onto your phone. The flashing is now complete. Once that is done, tap on reboot, or you may also flash other modules if you want and then do a reboot at the end. So now that we have got the Zygisk next module, you can now flash the modules such as LSPOS framework or the LSPOS framework, PlainText, all of these modules require Zygisk. And now that we have Zygis installed, you will now flash each of these modules as well. So let's say we want to flash the LS4 framework. So, or let's flash the plain integrated fix module onto our phone. So now that we have Zygis installed, you will just have to do a reboot, and after the reboot, you could then install the plain integrated fix module onto your phone. So just tap on reboot, and after the reboot, we have now installed the Zygis. But now that we have enabled Zygis via the kernel SU, you will now flash these modules as well. Just give me a second. This is the kernel SU. Go to modules install and select the, let's say, plain integrated fix, and it will now be flashed onto your phone without any issue. As you could see, flashing is now done. As you could see, this happens because we have got the Zygis module up and running, injected, and kernel SU is also running. So just go to the module and you will now do a restart. After the reboot, the plain integrated fix will be up and running. And now that we have the module, let me show you both the modules. You could see that we have two modules up and running over here as well. Both the plain integrated fix and the Zygis Next are working. To uninstall or remove any module, just turn off the module and now tap on uninstall, and the module will now be gone from your phone. Just tap on reboot for the changes to take place, and that's just about it. So guys, on that note, we round up the video. If you have any query with regard to any of the steps, do let me know in the comment section, and thanks a lot for watching.